Okay, so I'm back, guys, with Pluto in the 8th house synastry. And listen, this is gruesome, y'all. You ever seen one of those horror movies that is horrific, but you can't take your eyes off at the same time? You scared now. You scared. You scared and all that. But you can't take your eyes off. Like, you sitting there with your, you got, you're covering your eye, but you got, like you're peeking. This is Pluto in the 8th house synastry. And listen, this is the thing. Pluto in the 8th house synastry, like, these two individuals come together and there ain't no leaving. Like, literally. And you gotta be careful for this. You gotta be careful because of this. Some kind of way, one person is looking at the other person like, look, there ain't no leaving. This is real. This is for real. Death do us part, homie. You know what I'm saying, bruh? Okay, no, you don't leave for sure. Any Pluto placements that you can talk about, any Pluto placements that there is to deal with, there ain't no you just leaving. There ain't none. And where you going? You don't leave unscathed. And this is no different, except for, let me tell you, Pluto in any other place, any other house, Pluto could definitely have the dominant power. Pluto can definitely be, a beast. Could completely come in and overpower, empower, change, demolish, build back up again, transform, the house person and practically come out unscathed, except for in the 8th house. In the 8th house, see, Pluto got to understand 8th house is with the shits. You see what I'm saying? Pluto goes toe to toe with itself in a mirror type fashion with a twist when it hits the 8th house. That's what you got to understand. Because in the 8th house is also ruled by Pluto, but it's also ruled by Mars. So the 8th house gives Pluto a run for its money. Pluto is thinking that it's about to come to the 8th house. It's like, dang, man, I'm seeing all this stuff. What? I'm uncovering all your secrets. What? Oh my goodness. This is what you cry about? This is what you scared of? All right. Okay. I got you. So I know exactly what to manipulate you with. I know how to control you, baby. Let me transform you. I could transform you. But the 8th house individual is like, Because see, Pluto gets there and doesn't know what it hits it. The 8th house individual is like, okay, yeah, come on, Pluto, come on. That's what I'm scared of. Oh, but this is what you scared of, though. And I'm going to press you. The point that I'm trying to make is that these two can be very, very, good for each other, even if bad things happen in a progressive type way, or they could be very bad for each other, even though bad things happen. Okay. It's transformative. There could be abuse that goes on, like, and I'm talking about abuse, guys. I'm talking about abuse. As a matter of fact, it's someone that has Pluto in their 8th house, growing up as a child or whatever. You got to be careful, because that is a gateway to an abusive situation or being abused, and not just by one person. Because Pluto, we're looking at multiples, because it's a generational aspect to a planet. It's, to where you see someone that could be involved in certain things, certain lifestyles. Guys, I be trying to watch what I say on YouTube if I want to keep relevant with my videos and stuff. And, but, the energy, it can be, this is the craziest thing though. If you could take two people that are usually not jealous in relationships, usually not abusive or tend to abuse and things of that nature. And you could put these two together and it can turn into extreme jealousy of each other. Extreme jealousy of each other. You know, this is really vice versa. Because see, this is the thing. Pluto is going to want to keep tabs on the 8th house, but it does it through like the 8th house. Pretty much, Pluto's going to do this with any house. But it's like, okay, Pluto hits the 8th house and it wants the 8th house to like automatically surrender to it and, you know, dedicate itself, like, present Pluto with this undying loyalty, right? Even though Pluto can have the tendency to kind of do what it wants, you know, depending on other placements, right? But what happens is where you get a situation with the 8th house, Pluto gets here and Pluto becomes, the 8th house is obsessed with Pluto, by the way. But Pluto becomes obsessed with the 8th house individual too. So it becomes this mutual aspect of each person trying to gain and establish and hold the power and control with the other one. See, the 8th house is okay. It's like, okay, well, fine. I'm going to allow Pluto to take this control. I'm going to allow Pluto to have the power depending on other placements. And Pluto is more like, yeah, I want the power and the control, but see, you're not going to control me. And that is where a lot of the problem comes in. Because, you know, it's like this Ike and Tina Gina vibe that goes on here. Because when Pluto is going to realize it doesn't really have the control over the 8th house like it thinks. And even if it does, the 8th house knows how to play Pluto's game. So the 8th house can hide and disguise its feelings and be hot, you know, be mad inside, angry, you know, but Pluto not really knowing this, because the 8th house can disguise itself and it can turn into, once each other's tactics are not working on the other, they can turn violent and physical with each other. That's where the abuse comes in. So there's a large aspect to these two to where they come, and Pluto is coming to unravel the 8th house person's idea, deep core psychological idea of themselves and the way they're positioned in the world, and change that some sort of way. I mean, our most inner core and most inner aspect of ourselves, that is something, that's the foundation of who we are. So even if something traumatic was experienced within this relating to each other, the changes that come about, that like literally changes each other's lives on a grand scale a lot of the times, especially the 8th house person, the changes that comes about, whether good or bad, is still something that becomes significantly important and is very hard. This is the type of, you got to be careful with this placement, because if people are not healthy, and sometimes, you, like I said, you can take people who feel like they're pretty healthy, but when you start putting them in positions to where they can't ignore the things that are coming up, because it's hard to, you start, you know, you the wrong person gets here, and then you start feeling these feelings of inadequacy. Sometimes you start losing control of your emotions, and you know, you want to really attach and bond to one another, and then it's like, if the other person is not ready for that or doesn't really want that, this could be something that is traumatic, you know, especially for the 8th house person. The Pluto person is definitely going to be affected. The Pluto person could possibly see Like, wow, this is certain things I don't want to see about myself. I don't want to see about the world. Because remember, we're dealing with generational aspects when we're dealing with Pluto. It's the more like, this is the ugly truth of the world. I may or may not really want to deal with this because it can pull itself out of the eighth house. It's hard to do. These two are very attracted to each other. It's hard to break them away from each other when they're both kind of like in it and, dealing with things, certain very deep seated personal things. They could start using drugs together, but when they come together and they're there to help and benefit each other, they can stick through things like the difficulties in life. They could be pretty raw with each other. They can show each other parts of their soul of who they are that nobody else has ever seen. When these two come together, things start coming together. Like, they may want to be married, or they may want to accumulate some type of joint finances or business. The problem is if this goes wrong, so it's very hard to break free from, because you're going to be coming at each other in a very ugly way. So with the Synastry aspect, don't just jump into things. Make sure you have some type of agreement or something. And these two could play pretty dirty with each other. Pretty dirty. But this has got let me tell you something. The obsession that can occur between these two. Like, the Pluto person is going to be attracted to the most rawest part of the eighth house person. Like, that's like, it's going to like, for the eighth house person, it's like they wake up the parts that would be considered undesirable within each other. But it's not even, the question is it undesirable, or is it just taboo? Is it just something we've never experienced? And the Pluto is going to like the rawness that they like. It's like they just tapped into the eighth house person's soul. But at the same time, it depends on the Pluto person if that's something that they're ready to really handle or not. And the eighth house person is going to see the Pluto as like somebody that kind of like supports them through, like, they can see these parts of themselves in who they really are, and still it doesn't scare them away. It doesn't. But they change each other. Now, these two can be a power couple. They can empower each other for the better. They can come together with business and stuff like that. But like I said, just make sure that the proper procedures are in place, just in case if there was something that ever went wrong. And this is Pluto in the 8th house Synastry. I'm Butterfly to Light, and I'm going to be back. Peace.